What's up, everybody? Angry Iceberg here, coming to you from Iceberg 1 Studio with my very first No Man's Sky video. And I'm really excited to bring this to you because I've been watching a lot of the different videos regarding making money in No Man's Sky post 1.3. And none of them really have covered this. Well, none of the ones I've watched, they might be out there, but I may have missed it. But the ones that I've watched all talked about making different types of products. But I wanted to share with you the product that I'm making and I'm using to make lots and lots of units in No Man's Sky. It's super easy, it's fast, and it seems to be the most effective farming product to grow and build and sell to make lots of money fast. So we're going to go over that today. Before I get started, though, I want to give credit where credit's due to Acts of Eugene. He is one of the folks that hangs out in my channel at twitch.tv/angry_iceberg. And he's the one that actually came up with this. He did a lot of the math and figured that this is the most efficient way, as far as money per hour sorts of ways to actually earn units currently in No Man's Sky. If you know of a better way, and again, we're going to be going by units per hour, make sure you post it in the comments below and let me know. I didn't do any of the math myself, so I am going to put a little bit of trust on the people that I did, but they did look into other items such as circuit boards and explosives, and this here, just by time spent and energy spent, seems to be the easiest. And we'll talk about a little bit about why. But the first thing I want to talk about is base construction, because base construction is going to be fairly important to this, because you want to make sure that you maximize the space that you're using and be the most efficient as you can. Now, one thing though, I remember we're about a week and a half, as of recording this video, we're about a week and a half away from the original 1.3 launch. This is post 1.3 launch. And so I haven't saved up to get a freighter yet, but we're really, really close. I did start with a brand new save. And so within about, well, let's do the math on it. Within 10 days, I've already earned nearly 400 million units in No Man's Sky 1.3, and I'm going to show you how I did it. So getting back to the base construction, as you see, it's not a real flashy base. I mean, it's not pretty. I know there's other people that have really cool looking bases, so if that's important to you, this is not the method that you're going to want to use. But I wanted to make the most money. I want to get my freighter. That is my goal right now. I wanted to get my freighter. So what I did is I made sure that I eliminated anything that I don't really feel like I need from my base. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure you finish all of your Overseer questline missions. That is really important because you're going to need to get a cuboid room. That's what's going to be making up most of your farm. Now, this is my farm right here. Now, it's possible that you might be able to even do better than my farm if you plant your base on maybe a frozen world where you get, the frostwort, or where you might get gamma weed. But here, I love my planet. I've got a nice view. It's a pretty planet. It's overgrown. I got a lot of stuff in my system that I need. And so that's really important. So we can talk about, as far, some of the other questions that I get when I stream, because there's a lot of really common questions that I get from people that are a little bit new to No Man's Sky and are looking for help on getting started. And if you want to see a video like that, make sure you post in the comments. Let me know on Twitter, and we'll have all those links in the description, all that stuff. So at any rate, for this video, I want to talk about now, the first thing, let's see here. We're going to go ahead and I want to show you where my outer limits are, because it's important. Okay, so there's my outer ridge there. And you notice that I have a few things on the outside here. I got my exo craft. Okay, so my geo bays are all on the outside, and also my save unit here, because I want to make sure that I can save it whenever I want to, like right now. And the reason that is important is because each geo bay and even your little save terminal here will reduce the amount of stuff you can put on your base, because each base has a maximum capacity as far as complexity, and so you have to really keep that in mind when you're building your farm. So if you look here, we have our storage units here. So I have my storage containers. Now I have a bunch of them here because I do like to save a bunch of different types of materials. Crystalite, Mortite's really not that important, but I got it there anyway. And some of the other different things that I have extra that I might need in the future, or other things that I find like lemium, whatever, armadium, just different things I kind of want to store for a rainy day, which, speaking of, it's kind of rainy right now. So Now you don't necessarily, now if you actually don't need as many of your storage units, you can actually probably remove them. You might be able to even expand your farm a little bit more, but I need all these right now. I do not currently have my freighter. We're working toward that. So right now I'm keeping these storage units here, and even on my freighter, I'll be able to create my farm over there and make even more money. Now, one thing too that's going to be helpful is if you actually complete your armorer's quest line, your scientist quest line is going to be important because you're going to need stuff from the scientist anyway. And then your farmer quest line, you make sure you finish all your quest lines. It just makes it easier, but you can grow your farm based on which individual like workers that you need. You know, if you haven't finished the quest line, you might need to keep them around. It just means that you're not going to be able to have your farm as big as mine, or maybe mine's not even all that optimized. I'm gonna be honest with you. So we're gonna go inside and we're gonna check things out. This is my farm. Now, again, I didn't really build it. I didn't think ahead when I built it, so it's not exactly optimal as far as harvesting is concerned. I also have a pretty big mess in here. I really need to hire like a 10-year-old to come here and mow my lawn. But for some reason, of course, this grass comes in here and just looks really shabby. But that's not really important. What's important is how many of these plants that we can fit in. So what we're going to be talking about today is farming to build living glass. Now, I know everybody's talking about circuit boards and explosives and whatnot, because you look at them. Let's just go ahead and look at them real quick. So if you build, let's get over to it, a circuit board, your galactic average is what, almost 1.2 million. That seems like a lot of money that you can make in a short amount of time. But you have to really look at how many plants you can grow in that hour, how long they take, okay, and how much your actual unit per hour is going to be when you're looking at what you're trying to build. Now, for some people, this is going to work out fine, you know, because they're not in any real hurry to make a lot of units. They're off exploring, and they want to come back and just farm real quick, do their get their harvest in real quick and go and sell and make a bunch of money. But again, it's not the fastest way. Now let's look at the same thing with explosives somewhere over here. There it is. So liquid explosives, again, over 1 million units per unit that you sell. But again, it comes down to how many materials you need and how long it's going to take you to grow those materials. Okay. So, and again, this is the best way that I've found so far. Now you look at living glass. Living glass is what we're going to be building today. Okay. Living glass comes in at 666,000 or whatever units, units per unit. Okay. So that's how much you're going to sell for, but you can easily find systems that you'll be able to sell for over 700,000 per unit. And that's kind of what we're going to be looking for. I recently found one that was about 740,000 per unit, which again is kind of optimal. Anything, of course, above that is awesome. But I usually look for anything that's above 700,000 before I sell, and that's where your storage units are going to be important, because you want to make sure that you save these up. Don't just go and sell them right away, because the way the market is, each time you sell an item in a specific system, the value of that product goes down. Okay, so to build living glass, we need glass and lubricant. Okay, so you're gonna get frost crystal, which you need 5 units of frost, or 5 plants of frost crystal for each unit of glass you're gonna build, and you need 2 units of copperite and 8 units of gamma root to build each lubricant. You put them both together, you got living glass. So you just need 1 of each to create your living glass, and we're gonna do that right now. So right now in my particular farm, I have it set up to make 11 units of living glass per half hour. Yeah, that's per half hour. So when you add it all up, I'm making over 15. Well, actually, let me do that math again. I'm making 11 per hour, so 20, or 11 per half hour, sorry, 22 per hour. So just do the math on that. It's 700,000 a pop. That's over 15.4 million units per hour. And it's really pretty simple, and I'll kind of explain why here in a minute. Now, again, my particular farm isn't really set up for harvesting, not optimally, obviously, because I have my gamma wheat over here, and I got gamma wheat over here, and I got freaking copperite flour here, and You know, so I mean, it could be set up better, but I'm really kind of too lazy to worry about it. Okay. Now, some people that come into chat, you know, when on Twitch, they tell me, it's like, well, why don't you have the, you know, the hydroponic or the greenhouses? Why don't you do the greenhouses? Because you don't have to, you know, you don't have to charge up your trays. Well, that's because I can't get as many plants using that method. So, and I don't mind spending a little extra time to go ahead and, you know, harvest and charge. It really doesn't take that much. And again, looking at cargo, looks like I have enough plutonium. We should be good. We're going to use plutonium to charge. You can use, of course, plutonium, carbon, thallium, whatever, your choice. I just usually use, when it's time to harvest, I just kind of use whichever I need. So we're going to go ahead and start the harvest here. I always start with my frostwort, and the reason is because frostwort takes 15 minutes to grow. Your gamma weed and your copperite takes 30 minutes. So when I say that I can make 11 units, basically what I have is actually enough, or half as much frostwort than I do copperite and gamma weed. So right now I am sitting with what, 165 plants total. I think that's right. That's not right. I have to look at it again. At any rate, the point is that I can actually make 6 units of glass per each, for every half hour. That's what it is. 6 units of glass for every half hour, every 15 minutes, pardon me. So 6 units of glass every 15 minutes. I can make 11 units of lubricant every half hour. So when you average it out, again, it all works out. And you actually end up with an extra unit of glass in the very end. So right now I'm going to go ahead and finish harvesting all of these plants. And then I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward through this so you guys don't have to watch it. I'm also going to just go ahead and fill all my trays, because every time I do this part of whenever I harvest the whole lot is when I actually charge up my trays. Now, of course, there is a bug currently right now where sometimes the tray will will be uncharged. It will not be charged when you come back to it, which is just an annoying bug, but you know, you just kind of have to deal with it, whatever, but you're still making a lot of money. So I'm going to go ahead and stop talking right now and just go ahead and get the harvest in. And then when the harvest is done, we'll continue talking about making your fortune with living glass. All right, we're going to go ahead and stop it right here, or slow it down right here. So I want to talk to you about one little thing. Like this little guy back here is so hard to get it, man. You have to get it right in the right spot. It's almost like picture perfect or pixel perfect to grab that one back there. But again, if you optimize and think about how you're going to build your farm, you hopefully you'll think about it a little bit harder than I did as far as efficiency. One thing, other ones I want to make sure to mention here too, when you are charging up your trays, make sure you're charging up the right tray, because sometimes you might be going back and go through fast and you might actually click on one of the other trays in the background. And so you want to make sure that or maybe one ahead. So you might be thinking you're getting this one, but you're actually, you know, getting one over here. So you want to make sure that you're getting the right tray when you are trying to charge, because it's very easy to kind of skip past a tray and not get it charged. So again, we're going to go ahead and fast forward until the end here. I just wanted to mention that real quick, and we'll continue on talking about the next stage of building this product. Okay, so now we're completely harvested. We've recharged all of our trays. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set a 15-minute timer to make sure that we can come back, and we're going to have to harvest these again before everything else pops back up, because that's going to give us our total of actually 12 glass that we'll use to make our 11 living glass, and again having 1 unit of glass left over. So right now I'm already setting a timer. We'll come back and we'll be in here and we'll harvest here in a little bit. So at any rate, we're gonna head out here to I don't know, I always just kind of head out here. There's really no reason for it, but I want to be kind of close to my storage units where I'm placing my living glass for, so it can sit there and wait until I'm actually ready to sell. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to head in here, and it looks like I'm full here. So I mean, we can't really build in here right now, but instead what I'm going to do is I do have a starship that is super awesome. It's a 48 slot Class A hauler, where I'm going to just put a bunch of my extra stuff in. See, it's unfortunately not a Class S. One of the first times I sold a bunch of living glass, I ran into a Class S version of this, and unfortunately I was 5 minutes too early and I wasn't actually able to buy it, but I did get the Class A. So I mean, we'll kind of live with that there right now. At any rate, and as you can see right now, I have 243 million. When I bought this particular ship, it cost me about 110 million, if I remember right. So you can already tell that I've already had over 350 million, plus all the stuff that I used, all the money that I used to upgrade my slots, including my some of my technology slots are on my, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing here. All right, so you can see I haven't upgraded these fully, but I have fully upgraded my cargo slots. Those are all complete. And so, at any rate, to what I was talking about, we're gonna just move over as much as, we're gonna move on, not as much as we can. We're gonna move over some of our stuff just so we can open up spots so we can make our glass and lubricant here on my exosuit here. Just to make things a little bit easier, because you're going to end up wanting to transfer the what you made into your storage cube if you are not ready to sell. And we're going to talk about selling here in a little bit. So right now we're just going to go ahead and create our glass. We should have enough here to create 6 units of glass. With my current setup, like I said, I have enough to create 11 units per half hour. So that means I should be able to make 11 units of lubricant right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So, okay, so we got all of our lubricant. Everything worked out good. We didn't have any hitches. Sometimes, you know, things happen and whatever. But anyway, the point is we got all of our lube that we need. Now we're going to go ahead and make our living glass. One of the things that I really like that they did in 1.3 as far as from a farming standpoint, is that the most recent product that you created is right here. It used to be that you'd have to have it like on a different thing, and it was a lot more moving, but whatever. The point is that we can make, it's a lot faster process. They could probably even make it more automated than it is, but whatever. It's still better than it was before. All right, so right now we have our first 6 living glass. Those are the units that we're going to sell. And again, I have this one up here, and I want to talk about that. We'll talk about that here in a minute, but I do have an extra one that I always leave on my exosuit. Actually, we'll talk about it now. Screw it. You want to make sure that you always have one unit on you if you're checking for systems to sell in, because again, the markets will change whenever you sell in a market. The market price will change, and so you're going to constantly be looking for different markets. All right, so let's go to the storage container. I already have a few made. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and transfer them in there for later. And then we're also just going to go ahead and transfer the lube in there, and we'll come out and get it here in a little bit. So now we're going to head back in. We still got lots of time before the frostwort pops up again. It's already starting. You can already see it's starting to grow. And right now we're about 4 or 5 minutes in. I don't know. I didn't really actually set a timer, I'll be honest with you. But we're just going to sit here and wait, and we'll talk about a couple things, and we'll kind of fast forward until it all pops up, and then we're going to go ahead and pull the root. One of the great things about this, again, if you come back and harvest about every 15 minutes, that's kind of what it takes. And it doesn't take very long to actually harvest everything. So you're gonna have plenty of time to go out and do some exploring, you know, upgrade your suit if you want to, run some missions, and again, going looking for other systems in order to sell your product, because you're constantly going to want to look for new systems to sell, because once you sell, again, I'll repeat it again, that because the way the market system is now, that market will essentially be ruined. You won't be able to do it again. Now, I have a trade terminal here that I actually used right away, you know, and again, that market is now not any good. Let's go ahead and take a look at it real quick. Come on. All right, so sell and find my inventory. And again, I have that living glass there so I can check the market. And again, I did sell. If you look at it, it's minus 87. It was a little over 700,000 at the time. It was probably like 720,000 when I first sold. So it was a decent price. And again, for living glass, if you get it over 700,000, you're doing pretty good. You can, I mean, you can always get greedy and try to get a little bit better deal, but I generally find that about a little over 700,000, you're probably in a good shape. Okay. So always have one of these on you so you can check the price in the system. Another thing that's super important when you're thinking about selling your product is make sure that you have enough enough space on your ship. Let's say it the right way. Enough space on your ship so that you can haul all of the product on the ship. It doesn't matter if you have space on your exosuit unless the space on your exosuit is more than what you can fit on your ship, which in most cases it's not going to be. Another thing to keep in mind is you cannot sell. And again, I've tried this before, and unless they fixed it or changed it, it might have changed. So I mean, check into it. But at any rate, you cannot sell from your cargo slots on your exosuit. Okay, so just to kind of prove that point real quick, let's find something. What do I not have in my cargo? Or what? Well, here. Okay, so we have. Let's put this iridium over into my cargo. Okay, I'm gonna try to sell iridium, and here again, I can only sell from my exosuit. Just to kind of prove this, you're going to want to sell from your starship. Okay, so let's try to sell some iridium. Again, not coming up. See, emerald's there, but that's not what we're looking for. All right, so I cannot sell iridium from my cargo slots. Okay, so that's totally a thing. More than likely, you're going to have more room in your starship. And again, for me, I have a lot of room in there. Okay, so right here, what do we have? We have 10, 30 plus, 30 plus whatever. So 30 times 5, what is that, 90? No, that's not right, 120. There we go. Is that right? Yeah, no, 150. God damn, I am not doing very good with math today. Anyway, the point is, make sure you have the room on your starship to sell all the products, because once you sell once, even if it's in your exosuit, that price will get ruined. Okay, so make sure you sell as much as you can all at the same time, and do that by putting as much as you can in your starship. Okay. I don't think there's really anything else I want to talk about until we harvest again. So what I'm going to do is we are going to go ahead and skip forward, or actually we're going to fast forward. We'll just fast forward until it is time to harvest, and I'll be back. We'll harvest. We'll say our closing remarks, and then we'll get the heck out of here. Again, if you have any questions or comments, make sure you make those in the comments below, or even come and visit me on twitch.tv/angry_iceberg. So after the harvest, when we're ready to harvest, we'll come back and we'll finish. Be right back. All right, we're back. Now, these ones took a little bit longer. I think it's because the trays were not charged when we harvested them. But that's okay. It just took a little bit extra. Now, one thing I do want to talk about with this system is that, again, you can come back to your base every 15 minutes. Now, it's a little bit more important when it's this stage to come back around 15 minutes so that you can make sure that the timing of your harvests are good. The one nice thing about the primary harvest, when you're harvesting the whole room, is that you can really kind of come back whenever you're ready, as long as you come back again 15 minutes later to get this second group of frostwort. But of course, as long as you come back within, before the other stuff is grown, or you can just, of course, just harvest the frostwort if that's what you want to do. But you can always come back 15 minutes after you do the frostwort, or 20 minutes after, or whatever. Just, make sure that your timing's right so that this all works out fine. So if you really just want to sit here and make a bunch of money, again, 22 units per hour is what you'll be able to make if you time everything exactly correctly. But again, we don't play No Man's Sky just to farm. We want to actually go out and do fun stuff. So this gives you a little bit of time to go out and do some fun stuff, and then come back, harvest, go back out, do some more fun stuff, come back, harvest, and make your money. So again, let's go back out here. We got our frostwort again. We're going to add to what we have. Again, go over here to exosuit, and here we can just go ahead and make our glass. Come on, there we go. Make our glass. Product constructed. Okay, there we go. We have our 6 glass we can make every 15 minutes. Again, so that's going to leave us with 1 extra glass. So you can probably work out and try to optimize your farm a little bit more. And you could probably, especially if you don't need the cargo containers, you could probably get 12 units of living glass, depending on how you build, optimize your farm. But I'm making 11 right now. So we need that lube. We need to get that lube out of there. So we got the lube. And now it's time to finish making our living glass. And again, I'm gonna get 5 and then 1 extra glass. So there we go. 1 extra glass left over. Throw the living glass in the storage container. I'm not sure where I have regular glass. We're just gonna throw that in there too, just so we have it. But so there you go. 11 units of living glass in a half an hour. Again, if you optimize your farm a little bit better than I have, if you just wanted to farm, you could probably easily get 12, maybe even more. I don't know. I haven't really done the math, but especially if you don't need all of these units. But I would suggest having some, or you could even just, if you have a 48 slot like mine, you could just probably store it right on your freighter or your, well, you can start loading your freighter, I suppose, too. But again, the important thing is make sure that you sell only from your ship and make sure you can load up as much as you can. Generally speaking, if I find a good system to sell in, I will sell with about 100 units or whatever. And depending on what I'm doing in the game at the time, whether I'm searching other systems, running missions, I still haven't finished the quest line yet. I haven't really been in any big hurry to do that, or what have you. So always be looking for a good market. Once you find a good market, don't be afraid to sell. There's going to be more good markets out there. Once you have I don't know why I got in there because I didn't really want to, but anyway, once you have the economy scanner, it's going to make it a little bit easier. You want to, of course, be looking for good economies that relate. What the heck is happening out there? That stupid sentinel's like messing with my Colossus. We got to go end that one. As that is going to be it for me. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to hit me up in the comments. Also, come on over to twitch.tv/angry_iceberg, where you'll find me streaming every single day. We have Destiny 2 coming up next in a couple weeks, but I'll be playing No Man's Sky on a regular basis almost every night as kind of my cooldown stream. I do enjoy, where is this guy? I do enjoy playing it to relax. That Sentinel's confused, apparently. But you can also find me on Twitter, twitter.com/angry_iceberg. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. I'll have all those links in the description. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And yeah, we'll see you in the stars. Good luck, everybody. Thanks for watching.